Hey guys, I hope everyone's doing well out there. Um, Man, it's Thursday evening, and I'm just smoking a cigar, sitting outside, and just thought I'd make a video. I made one last night. I want to try to make at least a few a week. Um, this one's going to be a little different. So, actually, that lighting's a little bit better there, I think. So, I've been putting my head down and just pretty much working every day the last 2 months. I do jujitsu about 10 to 12 hours a week, and I lift weights about 4 to 5 times a week. Probably 2 or 3 times a week I do some high intensity interval training, and it's a lot. Now I do that because I find that boredom, when I'm bored, that's when my desires to engage in my vices come out, and that's when I act on them. And so constantly having things to do, things to strive for, whether it's making more money, getting better at a certain skill, improving your fitness, whatever it is, your social game, like network, it's important to have those things. However, I think it's also important to take time and to really be introspective about our life, about the deeper things in life. The philosophy, existence, metaphysics, existentialism, whatever your bent is. And for me, I always like to travel, go someplace I've never been, whether it's foreign or even domestic. I feel like my mind works a little differently. But I wanted to share something that I've thought about to really piggyback on the video I made yesterday that I uploaded. And that is regarding women, regarding the necessity to, at least in some point in your life, be a bit of a player. And one thing that I wanted to talk about is the idea of neediness. Okay? One of the most pernicious turnoffs that you can do with women is to be needy. And I alluded to this in the past video, but I'm gonna bring it up again, that there's 2 ways to really conquer neediness. One way is to really the fake it till you make it, memorize some pickup lines, listen to the pickup artists, read the game, whatever, and to try to finesse women that way. But it really only works on low quality women, on women that are kind of needy themselves, women that are in a shitty situation as well, not very confident of themselves. Maybe they don't like their weight, maybe they're not confident in the way they look, whatever the case may be. The other way is to become a man that, in a genuine sense, is not needy, doesn't invest too much in women, especially early on. That's a tall tale sign of a needy man, is someone who invests a lot in a woman early on in the relationship. Someone who lives a life that they're proud of. Someone who, you know, in as many areas as possible, you know, in your business or your career, your fitness, your extracurriculars, the lifestyle that you're living, having goals and kind of accomplishing those goals. And they could be anything. And I've always thought that, you know, in my early to mid 20s, you know, I got laid here and there, but I was still developing myself, and I was really trying to manufacture non-neediness in a way that worked on some women, but really ultimately never led me towards any really good quality women in the long run. And that's where that goes. And instead, when you build yourself into the man that you always wanted to be, you're not going to need to fake it. It's going to be natural. It's going to be who you actually always were. You know, and that's really important. It's important to build that type of man. So because ultimately what you want is you want to have a rotation of quality women that you enjoy being around, that enjoy being around you, and if quality, you know, the quality of woman is a manifestation of the quality of man that you are operating at, right? And the problem with game, and the problem with pickup, the problem with trying to go about it is that even when you think you win and you kind of shoot above your mark and you get that really super hot woman, eventually she's going to find out that you're not who you were portraying yourself to be. And what's going to happen is that you're going to lose that woman, and you're going to be devastated because you're so fucking elated that you got this super hot girl that you never thought you could, that you shot above your mark and you got her. And you're going to end up miserable and depressed because she found out the truth. Right? And so it's almost like going out and getting a badass car that you know you can't afford, but you got to have it, so you sign your name on the dotted line, you drive off the lot, and then in 3 months your car is repoed. And then you can talk about how you had whatever car for 3 months or whatever. So guys, you know, whether it's me or it's Rich Cooper or it's LFA, there's a lot of good guys out there. Rollo Tomasi, there's a lot of good guys out there that I think have a good idea of what you need to do in order to improve your experience with women. And it really is about becoming the man that you want to be, and then showing up as that man when you're interacting with women. That, with practice, with going out there and really, you know, being in the field, being in the field, like actually, you know, putting yourself out there and talking to women and engaging with women. And you know what's going to happen is that you're going to lose your fear of rejection, because your self-esteem is going to be sufficient that you're not going to take it as though it's an attack on you. You just realize that you just keep on moving. You don't really let it affect you. You know, you realize that, you know what, like, if you just, it's just like sales. The more phone calls you make, the more likely you are to get an appointment, and the more likely you are to close that appointment and make that lead an actual client. So that's really that really helps. And I'm taking 2 days off of working out and jiu-jitsu because I needed a rest. I needed a break. And I'm going to travel soon. I've got probably another week or two of work that I need to do, and then it's going to be my birthday's in a little less than a month, and I'm going to take off for at least 10 days. And I'm probably going to go to Europe. I think I'm going to go to Ireland, Spain, and then maybe go to Germany and Turkey. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I end up doing. But the point is that when you have time to reflect, it's just I've not working out. It's giving me a little bit of time to reflect on the women game and how, I just try to share my own experience here. I know maybe I'm a little all over the place but the point is that, you got to be careful about who you're taking your advice from. And I wouldn't recommend, trying to memorize some pickup lines and listening to the dating coaches. And I would really encourage you to look at who you want to be, where you're falling short, what you need to improve on, and attack that, go after that, become the man you want to be. And then, like I said, you'll show up as that man when you're talking to women, and you're going to get better results, and you're going to lose your fear of rejection, and you're going to learn about what women you really want to be around and which women you don't. You're going to learn about what turns you on and what turns you off. You're going to learn, how to engage with them better. And the biggest thing is that you're not going to have that neediness, because what's going to happen is that most men don't do the work. Most men settle for mediocrity. They settle for, the first woman that will show them any sort of, attention. And so when you become a man that really does the work on himself, you put yourself into a category where, it becomes undeniable. It becomes undeniable that there's something different about you. And, looks, money, game, status, intellect, personality, confidence, all these things, matter. But I think what really matters more than anything is, and especially if you're doing cold approach, is how you show up. It's how you look somebody in the eye. It's how you communicate. It's your body language. It's, again, words, verbal is only about 7 to 10% of communication. Most of it's body language. And if you're nervous, if you're needy, if you're unsure of yourself, it's going to show up. You're not going to be able to hide it with some stupid pickup lines. You're better off just working on yourself and becoming that man. So I hope that this was helpful, and stay tuned for more videos. Hit the subscribe button. I'll see you on the next video.